Hello, this is Rich Kale here on YouTube, Rich Gen X elsewhere, and it is time for us to return to Lamplight City. Now, we last left off having found out some things about the Harrises, at least of Mr. Harris, Malcolm. Let's find out what Miriam has to say.
I have some questions for you if you're up to answering them, Mrs. Harris.
I'll try my best, Mr. Fordham.
Yeah?
Tell me what you know about your son's kidnapping.
Yeah.
Oh, my poor baby!
Mrs. Harris, I know this is difficult, but I need as much information as you can give me so I can bring your son back.
Yep.
Yes, you're right. I have to stay strong. For Charles, it happened sometime between 6 and 8 last night, I think. Both my husband and I had gone out. Charles was in the care of his nanny, Mrs. Davis. I arrived home first, around 8:30, and that's when I found the scene in the nursery, as it was.
And what was it you found?
Mrs. Davis, unconscious in her chair, the broken window, and Charles missing from his crib. Malcolm arrived home shortly afterwards, around 9, and then immediately sent our butler, Mr. Havelock, to notify the police. We stayed up waiting for any contact from the kidnappers, but there was nothing.
Your husband mentioned he was out with friends last night. Where were you?
Yes.
I was visiting with some of my friends. We gathered at one of their homes for a concert.
It seems hiding something from your spouse is an activity both Harrises partake in.
Yes.
What can you tell me about Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
She's worked for us since Charles was born, a little over 6 months ago.
How did you come to employ her?
Yeah.
Malcolm's mother had a friend whose daughter she used to care for. She came highly recommended. We've never had any problems with her. She's always been a dream.
Where is she now?
In her room, I would guess. With Charles missing, there's little for her to do.
Where might I find her room?
Yes.
There's a small building just around the back of the manor. Hers is the 4th door from the left.
Okay.
Can you think of any reason why your son would be a target for kidnapping?
It
Yeah.
could be that someone wants our money, or some lunatic who's angry about the new airship. My husband's an investor, and my father-in-law owns the company building it, you see. I just don't know, Mr. Fordham. Frankly, the fact that something like this could even happen is just terrifying.
Yeah. Let's mention that torn fabric.
I found this bit of torn fabric by the broken window. Do you know anything about it?
No, I've never seen it before. Do you think it was left by the kidnapper?
Perhaps. Did the initials SS mean anything to you?
No, I can't think of anyone or anything I know with those initials.
Tell me about your son.
Yes.
Charles is our only child. He's such a good boy. Never makes a fuss. Always very sweet. Oh, Charles, you must be so frightened out there without your mother. Oh, please, Mr. Fordham. You have to bring him home.
I'll do my best.
Let's
Tell me a bit about yourself, Mrs. Harris.
Yeah.
Mr. Fordham, my son has been kidnapped and is out there alone, terrified and confused. What could I possibly tell you that would make any difference to you finding him?
I suppose you're right, Mrs. Harris. My apologies if I upset you. I found this note in your bedroom. What can you tell me about it?
I've never seen that note before in my life.
Are you absolutely sure?
Mr. Fordham, you mentioned you valued discretion. I ask you to please exercise some now.
Would it be possible to speak about this in private? In another room, perhaps?
Out of the question, Mr. Fordham. I shall not leave this sitting room in the company of another man if my husband is not present.
Yes, I understand. Let's put the subject on hold for now.
What a life these rich people lead. All the money in the world and they're trapped like rats.
I found this button in your son's crib. Does it look familiar at all?
No, I don't recognize it. It looks like it came from some cheap coat. Is that what the ruffian who took my baby was wearing?
That's what I'm trying to determine. That's all for now, Mrs. Harris.
Very well.
Alright, we have put together such information.
The Harris family certainly... I wonder if they...
Alright. Now it's time to find out something. Now we have other Now, we've got some areas we could check out. The lending office, the construction yard, and the nanny.
Come in.
Yes, I'm coming in.
Good day to you, ma'am. I'm Miles Fordham, a private investigator. I'm looking into the kidnapping of Charles Harris. Are you Mrs. Davis?
I am. Oh, bless the spirits. They've sent someone to help out at last.
Okay.
Seems like that was living in here that's less than 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
My mother had a pewter teapot as well. Always made it taste funny. Another Harris hand-me-down now. You'd think they would have washed it first. Another.
Okay.
It's a spirit reaching out to a very frightened man. Possibly the fakest looking photo I've ever seen. That chest is full of undressed dolls? What the hell is wrong with this old bat?
Yeah.
Painting how on Scottish moor. I wish I could make it over there. Any misty forest with a cemetery in the background. Cheery stuff. This looks like a morning orchard of a young woman. Probably a relative of Mrs. Davis. Her Majesty Queen Jessica. This was painted a long time ago. Pretty distinguished-looking gentleman. Handsome. Good fashion sense. Wonder who he is. Boy taking a nap under a tree. Or his dog runs around in the distance. That brings back some memories. The Harris family doesn't seem to hold the comfort of their servants in very high regard. I think a bed of nails would be an improvement.
Books, that's interesting.
All books on spiritualism and the occult. Mrs. Davis doesn't seem to have many other hobbies.
Let's talk with Mrs.
I
Davis.
have a question for you, Mrs. Davis.
All right.
Tell me about the kidnapped Charles Harris.
Yes.
Oh, dear. May the spirits forgive me. I feel so awful. Charlie was my responsibility, and I failed.
Mrs. Davis, that is aside my point. What's important now is finding him and bringing him home.
Yes.
To do that, I need your full cooperation.
Yep.
Oh, you're right, Mr. Fordham. I'm sorry. I just need to collect my thoughts, get the negative vibrations out of my mind. Now, what specifically would you like to know?
All right, let's find out what she knows.
What time did the kidnapping occur?
I'm not entirely sure. I know I was in the nursery having a cup of tea about 8:30. I remember feeling very drowsy. I must have passed out then because the next thing I knew, I was being woken by Mrs. Harris. To think, whoever took Charlie did it while I was in the room. Oh, may the spirits grant me peace.
Do you happen to take any sort of sleep medications or soporifics?
Oh, dear me, no. Those types of drugs cloud the mind and make it impossible to tune into the ether.
You say that as though it were a bad thing.
I beg your pardon?
Apologies, I spoke out of turn.
Oh, there's some information.
Can you think of anyone who would have wanted to take the child?
Well, I'm not one to gossip, but I am quite sensitive to the energy and vibrations that people give off.
Meaning?
I get the impression that Mr. and Mrs. Harris aren't very happy in their marriage.
Ah, come on. Anyone could have picked up on that. Anyone except you, that is.
Mr. Harris likes to stay out late and not take his wife with him. I can't remember the last time they went out together. I don't know what he gets up to, but it's possible he may have made some enemies.
Yes. Let's see.
Can you think of any reason why someone would want to kidnap Charles?
It might have been for money, but last I heard there was no demand for a ransom. I honestly don't know why this happened, Mr. Fordham. I just hope you find the poor child. He must be scared to death.
I'm beginning to think that he wasn't stolen for money. I'm beginning to think there are some red herrings been offered.
I found this piece of torn fabric in the nursery. Does it look familiar to you?
No, it doesn't. I'm sorry.
Okay. Let's try the button.
I found this button in the baby's crib. Do you recognize it?
Why, yes. That's one of Barney's eyes.
Barney.
Charlie's stuffed bear. It's his favorite toy, a gift from my friend Linda.
I didn't find a stuffed bear in the nursery.
Then whoever took the baby must have taken Barney as well.
Ah.
Oh, at least the poor thing has something to comfort him. Bless the spirits.
That's a curious thing. A kidnapper wouldn't do something like that.
Who is Linda?
Mrs. Linda Walker. She's a good friend of mine. As I said, she gave me Barney as a gift for Charlie.
Can you tell me anything else about her?
Oh, she's a lovely girl, very much in tune with her spiritual nature. I greatly enjoy my conversations with her.
When was the last time you saw her?
Oh, I don't remember. No, wait. It was at the last Spectre
Last Spectre Society. I'm sorry, I hit the wrong button there.
What is the Spectre Society?
Yeah.
It's a club for spiritualists and amateur investigators of the paranormal. We meet twice a month to socialize and discuss our findings.
I see. Sounds fascinating.
No, I don't expect you to share my beliefs, Mr. Fordham.
Oh, I have a bit more experience than you'd think with regards to the spirit world.
You can say that again.
Where exactly do these meetings take place?
Yes.
At a private residence in Gascon.
May I have the address?
Why, yes, it's 325 Rougemont. Are you going to seek spiritual guidance to find Charlie?
Perhaps. You never know what might be worth looking into.
Yeah. Let's talk about the portrait.
That's a lovely portrait. Who is it of?
That is my late husband, Jonathan.
I had a feeling.
He used to attend meetings of the Spectre Society with me, bless him. I tried to get him to be more in tune with the other side, but I think he was just humoring me.
Oh, that's possible.
He was a good man. Everyone at the society cared for him very much.
Yes.
Do you have Linda Walker's address?
No, I don't. I never visited her home. I get the feeling she doesn't like having visitors or being home very much. She prefers to meet people elsewhere. I was
Interesting.
the same way after my husband died. It was embarrassing for my friends to see me living so differently. But I feel it's not just a matter of pride for dear Linda. I think there are lots of bad memories associated with where she lives. I try to
Curious.
stay away from places like that. They leave a mark on the soul, you know.
Yeah. All
I
right.
couldn't help but notice that chest full of dolls in the corner.
Yes.
Oh, that. Oh, I know it must look a bit strange, but I pick up old and broken dolls so they can be repaired and donated to orphanages. It's my way of giving back to the community and helping poor children who have nothing to play with.
Well, what a kind soul. I wish she would find less creepy ways to express her altruism.
How long have you worked as a nanny?
Yes.
Only a few years. I never had to work when I was married. My husband had a lot of money.
Oh.
Unfortunately, he was in great debt. And after the spirits took him back to the ether, I wasn't left with much. So I began working as a nanny to make ends meet. But I consider taking care of children a reward in its own right.
Thank you for your time, Mrs.
Yeah.
Oh, you're very welcome.
I like her, but I have a feeling she's been manipulated.
I'll be going now, Mrs. Davis.
May the spirits guide your path.
You don't know the half of it. All right. So now we have another place to check out. The Spectre Society. And we got the lending office, and we got Harris Construction Yard. I want to check out Harris right now.
Well, someone certainly wasn't shy about making their opinion known.
Indeed.
And so we say to Harris and his cronies, no, we will not stand for this.
Rich people really do like making others aware of what's theirs, don't they?
Too many have died.
Do you suppose that's for keeping protesters out or the yard workers in? Now that is an impressive piece of machinery.
Yeah.
I suddenly remembered a joke. What's the difference between the HMS Lenore and Chief Snelling? One is a greatly disliked and untrustworthy sack of hot air, and the other is the HMS Lenore. But the way this gate is set up, I think trespassers should get an award for being able to breach the fortress.
Yeah.
Elect Hart Leroy, the man of the people. I think that's preaching to the choir around here.
The time has come to reject steam machines. They take our jobs, they take our...
Don't these people have jobs they need to go to?
Yeah. Unless, yeah.
We won't stand for this injustice any longer.
Pardon me, are you Arthur Devons by any chance?
Yes? Who are you?
Miles Fordham, private investigator. Could I ask you a few questions?
Guess so, yeah.
Alright, let's talk to him.
You recognize this letter, Mr. Devons?
How'd you get that? That wasn't meant for you.
I found it at the home of Mr. Malcolm Harris. He tells me you've been sending quite a few of these to his father.
Yeah.
Me and everyone else would had someone killed by that devil machine. I'm not the only one, you know.
Perhaps not, but he told me you were the most persistent. What have you got against the Harris family?
Family? Don't know nothing about the family. The only one I got a problem with is Clyde Harris, the one who owns this yard. He's just like all those other rich bastards with their heads in the clouds. The man don't care about the dead. He just wants to make as much money as he can. I'm just trying to make him realize how wrong he is.
Well, I can agree with that.
Do you know anything about the kidnapping of Charles Harris?
Charles Harris? Who's that?
Clyde Harris's grandson.
I didn't even know we had a grandson.
Oh,
I
my.
can't believe someone with a grandkid, a family, want more flying death in the air. How many more people have to die before someone realizes that steam machines are evil? People will kill their own mams for a crown these days.
Okay.
Mr. Harris told me you send a bag of chicken bones and dust along with your letters. Why is that?
Chicken bones? Dust? Nah, that's not right. I've only sent letters.
Are you certain of that?
Yes, as sure as I'm standing here.
Right. And I'm the queen. I get the feeling this guy will crack if we figure out what the significance of his little gift is.
Sounds a little bit like voodoo.
Why are you out here protesting?
Because what Harris Construction is doing ain't right. I lost my wife in the Lygia crash, and I'm not the only one, neither. Hundreds of people were affected by that disaster, and now these bastards are making another airship. It's like a slap in the face to everyone who died. I just can't understand it.
What do you hope to accomplish by protesting?
Simple. We want construction of the Lenore stopped, and a full investigation into the Lygia disaster. Not only that, we want compensation for our losses. Royal Maverick took care of all the families of those on board, but the families of the ones in the park didn't get a single copper. It just isn't fair. We aim to make things right. After that, it'll just be a matter of time before people realize that there's no future in steam tech, and they'll call the whole thing off.
Ah, the innocence of the downtrodden. I wish I could be as naive as them. It would have made my life a lot easier.
You must have loved your wife very much.
Are you joking? I loved her more than there are stars in the sky. She was my whole world, Mr. Fordham, the light of my life. It's been nothing but cold and dark since she was killed. You're married, aren't you, Mr. Fordham? I see a ring on your finger.
Yeah.
I am, yes.
Then take my advice. Appreciate every moment you have with her. You never know when she'll be ripped out of your life, leaving you with nothing.
You know, this fella was actually pretty wise. Maybe we misjudged him.
Yeah, he is very wise. And that comes from experience.
Does this piece of fabric look familiar to you?
Looks like it came from some fancy jacket, the type you'd expect to see on the snobs in Leon. I could never afford clothes like that in a million years.
Okay, let's see about the
You
button.
recognize this button?
Can't say I do, but it looks handmade. I wonder how long it will be before the poor soul who crafted that button gets booted into the street, replaced with some steam-belching contraption.
You seem very dedicated to your cause.
I'll take that as a compliment, Mr. Fordham.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of people who are against steam tech, aren't there?
Yes, the movement is gaining ground and growing rapidly, I'm pleased to say.
I've heard stories about some more extreme members. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah.
You mean the Red Hats? Sure, I've heard of them. Even met a few. But if you think I'm telling you anything else beyond that, you're sorely mistaken.
Are you a member of the Redites, Mr. Devons?
No, I prefer more peaceful methods of making my voice heard. Now, if you don't mind, I think we should drop the subject.
Good day to you, Mr. Devons.
You too, Mr. Fordham.
Well, you definitely gave me information. So now, let's go to the lending office.
Hello, sir. Welcome to LaFay Lenders. I'm the owner, Chester LaFay. Are you looking to take out a loan?
Not today, I'm afraid. I'm Miles Fordham, a private investigator.
Look, I don't know what you've heard, but I run a clean business here. I don't need any trouble.
And I'm not here to cause any, for the moment.
Just keep your nose where it belongs. We should get along fine.
Must be soothing for LaFay to be able to look at this landscape while he sits at his desk. Do you suppose LaFay turns the heat up to put some pressure on his clients?
I don't know about that.
He actually has a degree in business from the University of New Britannia? What a waste. LaFay with a woman and a small girl. I wouldn't have taken him for a family man. A crew escaping a shipwreck on a violent sea. Not the most comforting painting to look at while waiting for a loan. I shudder to think how many people's financial freedoms are locked away in that cabinet.
I'm actually trying to gather as much...
That's the latest model Computron. They don't come cheap. LaFay must be doing pretty well for himself.
Alright, well, I think we have enough. I mean, that rug's not in the best shape. Let's talk with Chester.
Mr. LaFay, I'd like to ask you some questions.
Fine, but keep it brief.
Okay. He looks very nice.
Tell me what you know about Malcolm Harris.
Ah, Mr. Harris. Took out a loan about a month ago. Still hasn't paid me back. In fact, he sent along a letter yesterday saying he was having an emergency and needed more time. I probably should have refused to do business with him. As soon as he walked through the door, I could tell his type.
What type is that?
Yeah.
Upper class, ordinary life, trying to escape and doing it through vice. In his case, gambling.
This guy is good. Maybe you can pursue money lending. The whole private investigating thing doesn't work out.
But for some reason, I pitied him and decided to give him the loan anyway. Compassion isn't exactly an asset in this business, you see.
Nothing to worry about in your case, man.
Aside from that, I don't know anything about him. I prefer to keep how much I know about my clients to the minimum. Makes things easier for me.
Huh.
Are you aware that my son Charles was kidnapped last night?
I had no idea he had a son. As I said, I don't ask my clients too many personal questions. Though now you told me, I suppose that would explain the emergency mentioned in his letter. Poor guy.
Yeah.
Exactly how much Mr. Harris borrowed from you?
Yeah.
Is that relevant to your investigation?
It would help to have an idea of exactly how much he owes, yes.
I don't feel comfortable telling you the exact amount, but I will say it was over 500 crowns.
Wow.
Considerable sum.
Like I said, I probably shouldn't have done it, but I'll get the money back one way or another.
Oh?
What's your policy regarding people who don't pay their loans back?
There are a few options. For the first 3 months or so, I'll send them a letter reminding them. After that, I start to threaten them with legal action. You wouldn't believe some of the things people do to avoid paying back their loans. One client went so far as fake his own debt.
Do you ever employ any more unusual methods?
Now wait just a minute. I see where this is going. Mr. Fordham, I'm a family man myself. If you're implying that I'm stupid kidnapping someone's child as collateral?
I never said that, Mr. LaFay.
Look, I have a family to consider. I'm not about to go get my hands dirty when there's plenty of legitimate ways to handle the situation.
You know, that does make some sense.
Take a look at this piece of fabric. Does it look familiar to you?
Sure, it looks like it came from a jacket. In fact, yes, it's the same fabric as the jacket I'm wearing.
Really?
Would you mind if I took a look at your jacket?
Sure, not a problem. Here.
Nice. If he's willing to make that look... Interesting. Love the pattern. Nothing missing. Yeah, I don't think it was his jacket, so that clears that
No
up.
tears in mine, huh?
Not a one. You clearly take good care of your clothing.
I don't mean to discourage you, Mr. Fordham, but I've seen a lot of people with this style of jacket. Hell, even Malcolm has one. I remember he was wearing it when he came in here.
I see. Thank you for the information, Mr. LeFay.
Yeah. We weren't done yet, Miles.
I've got some more questions, Mr. LeFay.
Go ahead, then.
Tell me a bit about yourself and your business, Mr. LeFay.
What's to tell? I lend people money, they pay me back.
Surely it's not that simple.
Well, of course I charge interest, otherwise I'd never make a profit. I know people don't look upon the service I provide very favorably, but without my help, there would be a lot more unhappiness in the world.
How did you go about starting up this business?
Yeah.
I didn't. My former employer, Mr. Roth, left it to me when he passed.
That was rather good of him.
Yeah.
Yes, well, he didn't have any heirs, and he considered me to be the son he never had. He was fond of my family, too. I try and keep my work and home life as far away from each other as I can, though. There's a lot of things in this line of work that my wife and daughter are better off not knowing about.
I think that's all for now.
Well, he's proven very informative. And it gives me a lot more to think about here. I'm going to head over now to the Spectre Society, but we're not going to begin on anything there yet, because we're coming up to a half hour. As always, this is Rich Kale here on YouTube, RichGenX elsewhere, inviting you to subscribe to the channel and check out some of the other playthroughs I've done. I've been working my way through a few point-and-click adventures. This is the most latest I've been doing. I am also working my way through the Tomb Raider franchise up until Chronicles, so right now I'm working on Tomb Raider: The Last Revelation. I am working my way through the Sherlock Holmes franchise by Frogwares in a chronological order of the in-game's internal chronology. Now, I'm currently working on the fourth game released, which is Sherlock Holmes Nemesis, or Sherlock Holmes vs. Arsène Lupin. And I am currently in the, the game's fourth currently in the game series chronology. That is until Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1 comes out. Then it'll be fifth. I'm also working my way through the franchise, through Aliens vs. Predator, the 2010 release. And I'm also indulging in the Henry Stickmin collection. And I'm currently working on playing through The Witness, which is a nice, relaxing game. And some other games I'm working my way through are the Zork franchise. I just started playing Zork Zero not too long ago. And I am working my way through Gibbous. It's Gibbous, a Cthulhu adventure. Very fun, very humorous. You can also check some of the other things out up on the channel if you've watched this entire video. Please subscribe and enjoy. I'm sure you'll find some game playthroughs you might enjoy seeing. Take care all, and have a good one. Again, this is Rich Kale here on YouTube, RichGenX elsewhere. Bye.